यमुनातिरवनचारी यमुनातिरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंद यमुनातिरवनचारी 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 यमुनातिरवन हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद हरे कृष्णा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, reading from Canto 2, Chapter 7, verse 34 and 35. Yeah, we will recite only the 34th verse today. ये च प्रलम्ब खरदर्दुषकेश्यरिष्ट ये च प्रलम्ब खरदर्दुरकेश्यरिष्ट मल्लेभकंसयवनाः कपिपौण्ड्रकाद्याः मल्लेभकंसयवनाः कपिपौण्ड्रकाद्याः अन्ये च शाल्वकुजबल्वलदन्तवक्र अन्ये च शाल्वकुजबल्वलदन्तवक्र सप्तोक्षशम्बरविथु विदूरथरुक्मिमुख्याः सप्तोक्षशम्बरविदूरथरुक्मिमुख्याः ये च प्रलम्बखरदर्दुशकेश्यरिष्ट मल्लेभकंसयवनाः कपिपौण्ड्रकाद्याः अन्ये च शाल्वकुजबल्वलदन्तवक्र सप्तोक्षशम्बरविदूरथरुक्मिमुख्याः ये च प्रलम्बखरदुर्दुरकेश्यरिष्ट मल्लेभकंसयवना कपिपौण्ड्रकाद्याः अन्ये च शाल्वकुजदन्तवक्र सप्तोक्षशम्बरविदूरथरुक्मिमुख्याः ये च प्रलम्बखरदर्दुरकेश्यरिष्ट मल्लेभकंसयवना कपिपौण्ड्रकाद्याः अन्ये च शाल्वकुजदन्तवक्र रुक्मिमुख्याः ये च प्रलम्बखरदर्दुरकेश्यरिष्ट मल्लेभकंसयवना कपिपौण्ड्रकाद्याः अन्ये च शाल्वकुजदन्तवक्र सप्तोक्षशम्बरविदूरथरुक्मिमुख्याः मदर्स माताजीस ये च प्रलम्बखरदर्दुरकेश्यरिष्ट ये all those cha totally pralamba the demon named pralamba khara dhenukasura dardura bakasura keshi the keshi demon arishta the demon arishtasura Malla, a wrestler in the court of Kamsa. Ibha, Kuvalayapid. Kamsa, the king of Mathura, the maternal uncle of Krishna. Yavanaha, the king of Persia and other adjoining places. Kapi, Dvivida, Paundraka Adyaha, Paundraka and others, Anye, others, Cha, as much as, Shalva, King Shalva, Kuja, Narakasura, Balvala, King Balvala, Dantavakra, the brother of Shishupal, a dead rival of Krishna's Saptakosha. Sorry, the brother of Shishupal, a dead rival of Krishna. Dead rival of Krishna. Saptoksha, King Saptoksha. Shambara, King Shambara. Viduratha, King Vidurath. Rukmi Mukhya, the brother of Rukmini, the first queen of Krishna. Now we will continue the Sanskrit of the next verse, is part of this. So we'll just continue. Ye, all those. Va, either. Mrudhe, in the battlefield. Samiti Shalinaha, all very powerful. Attachapaha, well equipped with bows and arrows. Kamboja, the king of Kamboj. Matsya, the king of Dwarbhanga. Dwarbhanga, the king of Dwarbhanga. Kuru, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Srunjaya, King Srunjaya. Kaikaya Adayaha, the king of Kekaya and others. Yasyanti, would attain. Adarshanam, impersonal merging with the Brahma Jyoti. Alam, what to speak of. Bala, Baladeva, the elder brother of Krishna. Partha, Arjuna. Bhima, the second Pandava. Vyaja Ahayena, by the false names. Harina, by Lord Hari. Nilayam, the abode. Tadiyam, of him. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A. Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. All demonic personalities like Pralamba, Dhenuka, Baka, Keshi, Arishta, Chanura, Mushtika, Kuvalaya Pida, elephant, Kamsa, Yavana, Narkasur, and Poundrak. Great marshals like Shalva, Dvivi the monkey, and Balvala. Dantavakra, the seven bulls, Shambara, Viduratha, and Rukmi, as also great warriors like Kamboja, Matsya, Kuru, Srunjaya, and Kekaya would all fight vigorously, either with Lord Hari directly or with him under his names of Baladev, Arjuna, Bhima, etc. And the demons thus being killed would attain either the impersonal Brahma Jyoti or his personal abode in Vaikuntha planets. Purport. All manifestations in both the material and spiritual worlds are demonstrations of the different potencies of Lord Krishna. The personality of Godhead Baladev is his immediate personal expansion, and Bhima, Arjuna, etc. are his personal associates. The Lord would appear, and he does so whenever he appears, with all his associates and potencies. Therefore, the rebellious souls, like the demons and demoniac men, mentioned by names like Pralamba, would be killed either by the Lord himself or by his associates. All these affairs will be clearly explained in the 10th canto. But we should know well that all the above mentioned living entities killed would attain salvation either by being merged in Brahma Jyoti of the Lord or by being allowed to enter into the abodes of the Lord called Vaikuntha. This has already been explained by Bhishma Dev in first canto. All persons who participated in the battlefield of Kurukshetra or otherwise with the Lord or with Baldev, etc., would benefit by attaining spiritual existence according to the situation of their minds at the time of death. Those who recognize the Lord would enter Vaikuntha, and those who estimated the Lord as only a powerful being would attain salvation by merging into the spiritual existence of impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord. But every one of them would get release from material existence. Since such is the benefit of those who played with the Lord inimically, one can imagine what would be the position of those who devoutly served the Lord in transcendental relationship with Him. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna. Very beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada and a beautiful verse. First, I would like to offer my respects, obeisances at the feet of everyone who has assembled, my loving God brothers, superiors, elderly people, everybody. Hare Krishna. So in this shloka, a list of demons is given, and at the end it is concluded that if these demons are also able to attain the lotus feet of Krishna, then what to speak of those who are his devotees. And Srila Prabhupada has put that exact same conclusion in the last line of the purport, where he says, since such is the benefit of those who played with the Lord inimically, one can imagine what could be the position of those who devotedly served the Lord in transcendental relationship with him. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also prays. He says, Ashura Shakal Pailosh Charan Vinoda Thakilo Boshi, like that. Gopinath Amike Doshe Doshi Asura Shakal Pailo Charan Vinoda Thakilo Boshi. Now, we have heard this many times, but being in the Krishna consciousness movement, there is this beautiful phrase in Sanskrit which is called as Phalena Parichiyate. Means you can keep on arguing what is the right thing and what is the wrong thing for eternity, and may not be able to prove any point in that. Like somebody may say, no, this is the right way, this is how you do it. Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, whatever. Somebody may say, no, chant this particular mantra. Somebody may say, okay, no, surrender to that particular process, that particular Babaji, that particular sadhu, whatever. That is the real way to go. But ultimately, the bottom line is phalena parichayate. Is it showing results? And the beautiful part of any such process, any spiritual process, is that you have to see the results. Now this Asura Sakal Pailo Charan, is there any visible proof of this? I got a visible proof on this Sunday when I was in the temple. So I was sitting in the back doing my Gayatri, and our Shadbhuj Prabhu was here somewhere. He was doing kirtan with everybody. He's here. So the wonderful part is, in the entire temple, I could not recognize anybody else except Shadbhuj Prabhu. Means practically everybody else was, they were new people, right? And there was a group of youngsters in this area, they were dancing. And it was a beautiful tune. I think it was this, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Very attractive tune, right? So they were like dancing to and fro, and there were some Matajis dancing here to and fro. And I was there in the back just observing. And then I noticed that there were a few, these Western-bodied women. And when I looked at them, you could easily make out that they were between their 50 and 60 years of age. So they're elderly women, all white hair, most of them white hair. But they were in the Western outfits. And they had visiting the temple. And somehow they were just glued to this tune or whatever was happening. And two of them were standing here somewhere, one of them was standing here taking these videos and everything. And as I was observing them, of course it's not that you keep on observing women like that, but I was just observing that, what are they doing? What are they doing up to? So I could see that their legs were shaking, I could clearly make out that they were not standing peacefully. So the phone and everything is there, but the legs are, shaking. And I was just waiting now what happens. And within 5 minutes, one of theirs, and they were actually elderly ladies, trust me. Means not somebody who would just immediately keep on dancing. And that lady, all of a sudden, she just took that swirl around like this. And I was stunned. And then she just held the hand of one of the girl who was dancing here. And trust me, I could not recognize any of those girls who were dancing here. I mean, they were fairly new devotees, basically. In fact, there were a few devotees sitting next to me, they are chanting Gayatri. I could not recognize any of them also. So it's all, only person whom I could recognize is Shadbhuj Prabhu. He was sitting here and doing kirtan. Right? Fairly new people. And these then ladies started dancing. And they exactly got the rhythm. So they did not make a mistake. And see, they were not wearing any devotional items on their body. So sometimes, you see foreigners, they have some attachment to, they wear sometimes tulsi or they may be having dupatta. Absolute Western. They had nothing which is Indian or which is Vedic or anything on their bodies. And they started dancing and they got the rhythm. I was so surprised at how in the first day of your life you can exactly get the rhythm. And they were exactly like 3 steps like this, 4 steps like this, and a clap. 3 steps like this. I was completely surprised when I saw that. And I realized this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Ashura Sakal Pailo Charan, Vinoda Thakilo Boshi. So this, I was just thinking like this, and this is not from any acharya or anyone, this is my own imperfect understanding. Vinoda Thakile Boshi has 2 meanings. One is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying that, Lord, why have you left me? So many demons have got your mercy. Why you have left me alone? That is the actual meaning of Vinoda Thakile Boshi. But in the contemporary Bengali, if you translate it, Vinoda Thakilo Boshi means one can sit back with happiness. Vinoda is happiness. Thakilo Boshi means you can sit back with happiness. So when I actually saw that happening, I was like, this is Vinoda Thakilo Boshi. I mean, actually, if this can happen to them on the first day, then, I still have hopes. That's what I could make out from that. So then the question comes, and okay, generally what happens is, what we have heard in Krishna consciousness many times, that the purity of the person who is chanting, the purity of the person who leads the kirtan, that affects the consciousness of the crowd, that impacts the consciousness. But here, of course, Prabhuji is senior, he was singing, but the rest of the people were actually, they were just newcomers. But they were perfectly in rhythm, dancing and everything, but not necessarily senior devotees as such. And I was just thinking that how could even this group of neophytes or seniors could have such an influence on a first-timer who has practically no background of Vedic life. How it can have so much of influence? And then I was going in the car and I was driving from this Bandra Ceiling Road, and before, in front of me, there's a huge poster, huge poster. And the poster is of some mutual fund company. I think it's Nippon Mutual Fund or somebody, I don't recall. It's a huge Nippon Mutual Fund poster. He says, there is something which is even better than people. And that's why it just caught my attention. There's something which is even superior to people. And then bottom is written, the process. Like that. There's something which is superior to people, and in bottom, the process. Like that. Now, and that's what we see happening. Because the people were not necessarily very great, but the process that was being followed was perfect. Right? Now, we don't have to necessarily only accept what a mutual fund advertisement says. It is also given in the scriptures. Right? So there is this beautiful verse in the 10th canto, and Prabhupada mentions here, all these things will be explained in 10th canto. So this wonderful shloka in 10th canto says exact the same thing. And just see what it says. Swayam samuttirya sudustaram dyuman bhavarnavam bhimam adabhrasaurudaha bhavat padambho ruhanavamatrate nidhayayataha sadanugraho bhavan. So the verse says, Swayam samuttirya sudustaram dyuman bhavarnavam bhimam adabhra saurudaha. There are these people who are bhimam adabhra saurudaha. So the translation which Prabhupada writes is people who are incessantly merciful towards fallen souls. Adabhra saurudaha means there is no limit to their friendship. So what do these people do? These people do this. What do they do? Swayam samuttirya. They first cross over the ocean. Yeah? They cross over the ocean of material existence. Then what they do? So what do they do? Bhavat padambho ruha. Right? They are able to cross over this ocean of material existence. How do they do it? Bhavat padambho ruha navam atrate. They do it using a boat. Right? So these people, they take a boat and they are able to cross the ocean of material existence using that boat. What is that boat? That boat is the lotus feet of Krishna. Bhavat padambho. So it is the lotus feet of Krishna, which is navamatrate, which is a boat. You climb on the boat, you cross the ocean. Then what happens? So it is mentioned here, but after crossing the ocean, nidhaya yata, the boat is left behind. For whom? For these adhabhara sauruda, for these people who are fallen souls, for them the boat is left behind. So you may scratch your mind and say, no, but you are saying that they crossed the boat. So how is it that the boat is left behind? No, it doesn't make sense, right? So that is mentioned in the other purport, other shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? That as soon as one takes lotus feet, shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, what happens? The entire ocean becomes like a small water which is contained in the footprint of a calf. Bhavam budhir vatsapadam, it is mentioned. This whole bhavam budhi becomes like the pot. So you climb up on the boat and the ocean becomes like this. And you get down on the other side. The boat remains there. And the ocean again becomes large. It's as simple as that. So you don't really have to sit in the boat and, chalo abhi kab tak. No, you just get onto the boat The ocean will become small. You get on the other side. The boat is still left. Now there is something very nice which is mentioned in this shloka. Okay, before that, there is one thing which is not mentioned in this shloka directly, in this analogy, is how much time will it take to shrink this? That is not known, right? So you may have climbed on the boat and maybe looking at the ocean for past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And you say, well, अभी तक तो मतलब, खाने के खाड़ी जितना भी नहीं हुआ है, मतलब, what to speak of Vatsapadam. I still see it as ocean, right? So that time factor is not known. How much time it will take, that is not known. But the shrinking process has started. But the only thing that you have to do until the entire ocean shrinks is to remain on the boat. Don't get down. As long as you remain on the boat, you will have the facility of just getting down on the other side. And in this entire process, sometimes you will see some devotees, they are already getting down. And you will call out, you will say, my dear Prabhu, it is still ocean. How are you getting down? He says, no, Prabhu. For me, it has already shrunk. I am going. Bye. And then they just go. And then you have to keep crying. Heno Prabhu Kotha Gela Vaishnava Thakur. Because they are gone. For them, it has shrunk. But you cannot see it. You cannot perceive it. But they have already left. Right? But that their departure is the visual proof that is happening. See, I cannot see it happening. But the fact that person smiled when he was leaving the body, the fact that that person said that I don't have any other desire, the fact that he had that glaring effulgence on the face when he was leaving the body, that is the proof. That is the proof, right? How many of you have been fortunate to see Vaishnavas departing in front of you? I was. When Stoka Krishna passed here, we were there. We could actually see. You can see it. You can actually feel it. The Vaishnava is departing. That is the proof that yes, it's going to happen. Someday it's going to happen. But I have to keep waiting. I don't have a choice. Someday it will happen. Just be on the boat, don't get down. Have the faith. Now, going a little ahead. So we were talking about what actually works. What is this boat? So this boat is, as we just discussed, is the process. Right? Is the process which is given. Therefore, in our sampradaya, there are three things which are clearly mentioned. There is sambandha, there is abhideya, and there is prayojan. Right? The abhideya is the process. And what the Krishna consciousness movement really stands for is the process. Therefore, people will keep on coming and going. But those who are there in the moment, they have to work hard to maintain the process. And as long as that process is intact, there will be countless number of people who will come, who will get delivered, and they will go. Right? So what is really the inspiration for a devotee? Because sometimes nowadays, there are so many videos that go on YouTube. There are so many people, big people, they come, they become very popular, And then people feel distracted. You get distracted, I need to hear. But what we need to understand is more superior to people is process. Right? And the people who are giving that process to us, they are the acharyas. Right? If somebody is not able to give a process, and if you are not able to see it visibly working, then, sorry. That's why Dhruva Maharaj, when he met Narad Muni, he said, Narad Muniji, I am not interested in all the philosophical talks that you are doing. Give me something that works. I am willing to follow whatever you say. And Dhruva Maharaj followed, and we read the 4th canto, and within 6 months, the result came. Right? Now, in this shloka, the Samuttirya shloka, there is a wonderful text which Prabhupada writes. Because, when we read scriptures, you may read a verse like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, kirtan ya sadahari. That means you have to actually keep on chanting. Then Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya drudavata. Always keep on chanting. Right? So what do I have to do? Do I have to always keep on chanting? So Prabhupada writes beautifully in the purport. I'll just read out. When I read that, it just gave me so much relief. Because trust me, I can confess, for me it's very difficult to chant a single round more than 16 rounds actually. It's very difficult. When I complete my 16 rounds, but then somebody says, "Chalo, aaj 4 round extra karenge, 5 round extra." It's very difficult for me. It's very difficult. Prabhupada said 16 rounds minimum. We should chant as much as possible. But I find it very difficult. So that doubt comes in the mind, is there any hope for me? So what Prabhupada writes in the purport is so nice. Now I'll just read it. Prabhupada says, thus, the devotees have been advised to refrain from 4 sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. So 4 things devotee has been advised to refrain from. Then he says, and to chant 16 rounds a day. This is the purport. So Prabhupada is asking to chant 16 rounds a day. Then he says, these bona fide instructions, these are bona fide instructions. Then he says, because in the Western countries, constant chanting is not possible, one should not artificially imitate Haridas Thakur, but should follow this method. That means chanting 16 rounds. Then he says, Krishna, this is the most important part. Okay, so now we have a devotee who is just following 4 regulative principles and may not be able to chant more than 16. And he has doubts in his mind that, do I have a hope? Is there a survival for me? And now see what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says, Krishna will accept a devotee who strictly follows the regulative principle and the method prescribed in the various books and literatures published by authorities. Krishna will accept it. So why? So that is the shloka. He says, Sad anugraho bhavan. The last line of this verse. So Bhavan, your Supreme Personality of Godhead, what you will do, this process which has been left behind by the great souls. What is that process? Chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and regulative principle. That process, according to scriptures, may not be adequate. According to classic scriptures. But because authoritative sources, the authorities, the acharyas has given that process behind, Krishna will accept that devotee. This is Prabhupada's word. That is the hope for us. So staying in the boat literally means continuing with these 4 things as regulative principles. It's fine, it's okay. Today I was listening to the class of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, what happens if you don't smoke cigarette? What is the problem? Are you going to die? You are not going to die. What happens if you don't drink tea and coffee? Are you going to die? No. Just tolerate for some time. Just keep on tolerating. The life is anyways not big in Kali Yuga. So anyway, Krishna has taken care of reducing your life because of Kali Yuga. It's not that you have to wait for 10,000 years with no tea and no coffee. You say, one day I can follow. How can I wait for 10,000 years, no tea and no coffee? Don't worry. You have to only wait for a few years. It's like a bubble in the ocean. It just, anytime it will burst. So only that much time we have to tolerate. Right? But if you stay like that, one day you will see, the ocean has become like a small. You look from the boat, I don't see the ocean. Bye, I'm going. Now you just get down. Right? My time has come. Right? So it's amazing. Why? Because the process has the power. And therefore Srila Prabhupada addressed all of us. He said, we are all Rupanugas. You could have said that you are Sanatanugas or Raghunath Bhattanugas or Jivanugas or whatever. So you are all Rupanugas. That means attachment to process. Attachment to process. And attachment to people who are attached to the process. That is the core of, that is the source of inspiration. Because sometimes what devotees, they have a challenge. They feel that it's very easy to appreciate somebody who is senior. And it's very easy to show mercy or compassion to somebody who is junior. But it's very difficult to cope up with the colleagues, the peers. But then how do you cope up with the peers? When you look at them and their attachment to the process, their faith in the process, that should actually make us humble. We should say, my God, this person, see, every day he comes and sits in this place and he keeps chanting. He doesn't get up. Isn't that amazing? His attachment to the process is something which is inspiring us. Right? So therefore, this discussion also was going on, right? So what is actually ultimately superior? Is purpose superior or process superior? It's the process which is superior. Even if you don't know the purpose, these Western ladies who had come and they were dancing, did they know the purpose? No. But they were attracted to the process. The process caught them. Right? As soon as the process is there, it will work. So what one needs to do is be very strongly attached to the process. And in due course of time, as soon as the purpose is given, whoop, there's immediate progress. One very gross analogy of this fact. One very great freedom fighter, he was encouraging all the Indian men to get admitted to the British Army when the fighting was going on. Right? So there was such a chaos, there was a chaos around it. They're saying, hey, you are a freedom fighter, you are requesting people to join British Army and help the Britishers. He was saying, no, I am inspiring them to join the process, not the purpose. That is the process. As soon as they are trained up, I tell them, okay, now you have been pointing the gun in that direction, now you just change the direction of the gun, that's it. And the job is done. Right? Just change the direction of the gun. That's it. So join the process. Yeah? The same principle. Yeah? You get trained in the process, then as soon as the purpose is given to you, you are successful. But imagine you have the purpose. Every day I am reading Radha Krishna pastimes, esoteric leelas of the Lord. I have the purpose. Prayojan is very clear in front of me. But process, I need coffee milkshake every day. I go to McDonald's every day, enjoy the burger, because I like it. And Prabhu, वो mayonnaise में garlic होता है. Who knows? I don't see it's there. I can have. So if process is compromised, then no matter how much nicely you have purpose, you may have loads and loads of purposes, it's not going to work. One will stay in the material world. Process is followed. As soon as the purpose is given, you go. You can quickly, immediately go. Right? Therefore, now in case of, because we are on the topic of Rupa Goswami, I just want to say this one thing. Nowadays, we all talk about, India becoming Vishwa Guru. Right? You have heard this? No. So in 2025, 2026, India will become Vishwa Guru. So that is the purpose. What is the process? Do you know what is the process? The process is given by Rupa Goswami in the first verse of Upadeshamrita. Sarvam api imam prithvim sashishyat. Yeah? Vacho vegam, manasak krodha vegam, jivha vegam, udar upastha vegam. Etana vegana yo vishahet dhiraha. Sarvam api imam prithvim sashishyat. That is the way of becoming Vishwa Guru. Right? So unless and until we are not able to educate people in these principles given by Rupa Goswami, how can India become Vishwa Guru? You see, you can become very strong and you can have a lot of power. Like there are many powerful countries right now also in this world. But can you say they are Vishwa Guru? They are very powerful countries, but are they Vishwa Guru? No, there may be some, if at all you want to attribute to some planet like Guru, you can call them Vishwa Rahu maybe. Because expert in technology, expert in creating illusions, expert in striking the fear in the heart of people, it's all Rahu, basically. So you can become Vishwa Rahu. But if you want to become Vishwa Guru, then one has to follow Vacho Vegam, Manasak Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam, Udara Upastha Vegam. Difficult to follow. Control of the tongue. Yeah, very difficult to follow. In fact, most of the problems we create in our life because we don't control the tongue. Most of the problems. Therefore, in that Panchatantra also, that story comes, that tortoise. So, that tortoise wanted to go to some place, right? So these birds, they say that you catch the stick and we will fly, but don't speak. Don't speak, right? And then, just when he was on the top, he was trying to control, but he saw something and he said, "Oh, look at that." And as soon as he released the mouth and he fell down and died. Similarly, the Guru and Krishna are like the two white swans, pure Hamsa. They are actually carrying us already. You just have to keep quiet. That's all. Don't speak. That means don't offend. Don't offend. You will reach destination, don't worry. But don't open the mouth. Now, I have seen most of the people, most of the problems are created because you open the mouth at the wrong time. Even our very glorious example, Ladini Mataji, she was serving in South Africa. There was this gang of robbers but they were not against devotees. They had soft corner for devotees. But somebody just wrote a email to that person. "Oh, you are a king, but you are behaving like a demon. You're supposed to be representative of God." Arey, kyun bolne ka hai? Mat bolo. Mat bolo. What is that shloka which Prabhupada says? Upadesho hi murkhanam prakopayana shante. Chanakya Pandit. You don't give advice to a foolish person. Don't do that. You see, you really need to have very strong capability. It is mentioned that when Hiranyakashipu would enter the assembly, even Narad Muni would get up. Now, Narad Muni is a personality who has given advice to most of the difficult people. But he didn't give advice to Hiranyakashipu. Because Upadesho hi murkhanam prakopaya na shantaya. He knows this very well. Today I will give advice to Hiranyakashipu. Tomorrow when I go back to my ashram will be destroyed. Right? And there are poor brahmacharis who are struggling there and they are staying. I don't want to take risk. And Prabhupada gives an example. Just like a dirty boar suddenly comes inside, what will you do? Will immediately get up. Like that. Have you seen that? Suppose you're all sitting here and suddenly a dirty boar comes inside. You'll all get up. So are you respecting the boar? No. You are just keeping away from the boar, the ill effects of allowing that boar to touch us. So that is the example given. So that's what Narad Muni was doing basically. But Prahlad Maharaj, he spoke. But he had the ability to undergo the consequences also. He could do it. And that's why Prahlad Maharaj is so great. Now he spoke. Nate vidu swarthagatim hi vishnum durashayaya bhairathamanina. Andha yathande rupagiya. Asura varya dehinam, the best of asuras. A small boy, 5 years old boy. He did not know what are going to be the consequences. He just spoke. Sometimes children speak. But unfortunately, Hiranyakashipu prakopayana shante. He had that problem. I know a few small children in our families and other people. There's one devotee, in fact. He's in our counseling group. He's small child, very special child, born on Gita Jayanti. So, in their house, everybody eats non-veg. So this child, he goes down with his mother, and he did not know why he's going out, grandmother. And he did not, so the grandmother went to the shop which is selling fish or something like that. And this boy looks and she says, "What is this?" So there is fish and all. He said, "No, we don't eat this." And then he started preaching to that fish cutter. He said, "Bhai, kai karta hai tumi? Narkat zal, narkat. Maite tumi narkat." He was like telling, and he spoke. And because small 5-year-old boy, so that lady was, just smiling, and she actually understood. She felt sad. Yeah, actually I may go into all this. The small boy said like that. But Hiranyakashipu was not a soft-hearted person. So Prahlad Maharaj spoke, he immediately became angry. Right? So when you want to open your mouth, either you should have ability like Prahlad Maharaj, or respect from far distance. This is intelligence. No need to open the mouth. Most of the problems happen when you open the mouth at wrong time. So first is Vacho Vegam, Manasak Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam. Now again Jivha has come. Just like, those who know C++ language, there is something called as an overloading of an operator. You know this? C++. The sign plus is also used for adding, and it is also used for incrementing. That's why the language itself is C++. Means that is overloading there indicated. One operator is overloaded with two functions. Similarly, we have an operator here. This is overloaded with two functions. It eats also and it speaks also. So first is Vacho Vegam, then Jiva Vegam. So both we have to control. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Tara Madhya Jiva Ati. Ye na operator overloading difficult to handle karne ko. Most of the people, they are not able to understand C++ is because of the operator overloading. So we have a C++ here. Jiva++, you can call it maybe. Yeah. Two functions. So Tara Madhya Jiva Ati. Very difficult to control. But Krishna has given prasad, so we can control it. Right? And if all this is being done, right, Udara Upastha Vegam, then Sarvam Api Imam Prithvim Sashishyat. Then we can become. So this is process and the purpose. But if the process and purpose both are there, but the third item is missing, and here we again come to the aspect of people. Right? And now we come to the aspect of people. If you are not able to get along with the people who are also following this process along with you, then again there is a big danger. Again there is a big danger. And here in this purport, there is this very beautiful thing. On one side, killing of Krishna has been explained. So he says, all these demons were killed by Krishna. And then separately it is mentioned, and then also there is this Baladev, there is Bhima and Arjuna, like that. That categorization has been made, right? So it's very interesting. But we know Baladev is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, right? But sometimes Shankarshan is advised to appear along with Lord Krishna. So like even Harivansha Puran, if you see, it is mentioned that after Krishna, Lord Vishnu spoke that all the demigods should take birth. Lord Brahma was consulted by the demigods, like who should take birth, where they should go. And Lord Brahma starts telling name by name, and then he includes their Shankarshan also. He says, Shankarshan, you should now go down and take this particular form, like that. It is mentioned. So that categorization is there. So that means there are associates of the Lord, and then there is Lord. And even the associates are also given the power of destroying the demons. Right? Similarly, Srila Prabhupada made that statement. He said, do not offend a devotee because you do not know who he is. You do not understand the identity of the person. Right? Now, I'll just give a very gross example of this fact. Right? And we already spoke about how the process is more important than people. One very famous speaker, he's very famous. There is one video, YouTube video, and I somehow got it because it had become viral. Somebody forwarded to me, so I listened to that video. In that he says that he gives the example of Ekalavya. And he says, Arjun indicates a person who is very insecure. When I heard that, I was, what? Arjun indicates somebody who is insecure? And he is saying it, and he was very confident about it. And then I started thinking that just see the difference when you are not hearing from an authority. Now, I will just take you a little bit back, just to understand what is Arjuna. Who is Arjuna? Right? And here it is mentioned that these people are descending along with the Lord to kill demons. The purport says that. And also the name of Bhima is given here. Just see the beauty, the way these personalities are, and how it became difficult to understand the personalities. So we know that in the Leela of Lord Ramchandra, Ramnavami just passed few days back. In the Leela of Lord Ramchandra, Lord Shiva came as Hanumanji, right? Shankara Suvana, even Tulsidaji says in his this, and it is there in the scriptures also. So Hanumanji is the incarnation of the 11th Rudra. So he appeared. Now who is Lord Shiva? Shiva is known as Bhutanath. He is somebody who protects all the Bhutas and Pishachas also. And you will see the Bhutas and Pishachas, they like to go with Lord Shiva and all that story you have heard. But who is Hanumanji? Hanumanji is Bhuta Pishacha Nikat nahi aave. आप बोलोगे ये क्या है? He is Shiva as Bhutanath, as Hanumanji is Bhut Pishach Nikat nahi aave. But in both personalities, he is still Shiva. That is the nature of Lord Shiva. If you are a devotee of Lord Shiva, you see Hanumanji as Bhuta Pishacha Nikat nahi aave, you will still love him. Or you see Shiva as Bhutanath, you will still love him. Although there is complete contradiction between two personalities. If you are able to understand that Hanuman and Shiva are the same personalities, then why are you not able to understand that Shiva and Arjuna are also the same personalities? It is the same Rudra principle in Arjuna which is there. Arjuna definitely is the son of Lord Indra, but he is also a Rudra. And therefore he is officially married to Subhadra Devi, who is Yogamaya. Unless he is Rudra, how can he be married to Yogamaya? So there is an element of Rudra in Arjuna also, right? And therefore he is married, and therefore he is assisting the Lord in killing the demons. Because he is husband of Subhadra Devi. And therefore Arjuna is the only person who was able to defeat Lord Shiva in combat. Nobody else could defeat Lord Shiva. But Arjuna easily defeated Lord Shiva. Because he is the same person. Right? So you have to understand the identity of the person and not the role which the person is doing. Right? Not the role which the person is doing. And when Arjuna is specifically addressing the case of Ekalavya, is one of the quality of, the qualities of Lord, there are 62 qualities of Lord Vishnu, and then there are 60 qualities of, 64 qualities of Lord Krishna, 62 of Lord Ram, 60 of Lord Shiva, Vishnu, 55 of Lord Shiva, and then 50 of Lord Brahma, and then that are in perfection, and then it goes on reducing. So one of the quality which Lord Shiva has is that he can understand the heart of a person. And what Arjuna could see in the heart of Ekalavya was just competitiveness and envy, nothing else. So he had to take the blame of getting, criticized for years to come, but this particular thing has to be stopped. A person who is full of envy and a person who is not qualified to use sacred weapons should not be given sacred weapons. I have spoken this in the past also. There's this movie called as Kung Fu Panda. I don't know how many of you have seen this. So in that there is one leopard who is expert in Kung Fu, But the master, the Kung Fu master turtle, he doesn't give him the full knowledge. So during the end of the movie, they ask the turtle that why did you not give all knowledge to this leopard? He says, because I could see darkness in his heart. He says like that. Because I didn't pass all the knowledge to him because I could see darkness in his heart. So that's how it is. So Arjuna could see the darkness. Others were not able to see it. But he could see. So he stopped it from happening. And therefore Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 3 times he says, Anusuyave, I will tell you Gita because you are Anusuyave, you are free of envy. 3 times Krishna says it. So Arjuna is free of envy. There is no question of envy in his heart. But if you don't have the devotion, you will not be able to see Arjuna when is Shiva when he comes as Arjuna, or Shiva when he comes as Bhutanath. That you will not be able to see. So this is very important. So you need to take care of people. Identity. So Prabhupada said that they may be playing different roles. Somebody may be acting as a temple president and he has to become very heavy. Somebody may be acting as a pujari, so he needs to be very soft. Someone may be acting as a doorkeeper during festivals. Someone may be acting as a security guard. And they're all devotees. And you say, oh, I accept you as a pujari, but I don't accept you as a security guard. That's not going to work. It's like you are accepting the Bhutanath. So in the Bhutas and Pishachas, they may be thinking like this. Oh, Shiva has, Bhutanath, Hanuman, stay away from him. But we are not Bhutas and Pishachas, right? We are human beings. We can understand these are different roles. But the identity is the same. Right? So therefore, we understand the identity of a spirit person, and then we remain with the. So as long as you are there on the boat and you respect all the Vaishnavas, you will be able to cross this material ocean and become successful in life. Right? Hare Krishna. That's all I had to say. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there are any questions, we can take. Otherwise, we can end. Okay. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.